Guys, it's Skye Bagina, and here's a sneak preview of my brand new single, Love in the Time of Streaming. Put your peacock inside of my paramount pussy.
Oh, it's the kid getting words. Podcast on blast, giving you the real talk, no holding back. Can't get any worse, we'll make you see. There's always a silver lining. We'll set you free, so join the movement. Let's change the game with the Can't Get Any Worse podcast.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Can't Get Any Worse podcast. How are we all today? I hope we're all well and just ripping into whatever fucking day it is. Hope you're having a better morning than me. I just had to break through my kitchen window, and to describe my kitchen window, it's about 900 high by about 300 to 400 mil wide. So a big 128 kilo man like myself, 6'2", don't want to brag, one of those big like offensive linemen in the NFL. For a bloke of my stature to squeeze through that window, it was very, very tight. But I'll explain why I had to break into my house right after we rip into this opening clip.
Guys, it's Skye Bagina, and here's a sneak preview of my brand new single, Love in the Time of Streaming. Put your peacock inside of my paramount pussy.
Now that's a fucking banger. My God, that just sounds like Spotify sponsored by Pornhub or something. Put your peacock inside of my paramount pussy. Holy fuck. I mean, you can hate on it if you want, but that is an awesome play on words, okay? And just that rap name, Skye Bagina, with a B, okay? Don't get confused. She's not calling herself Skye Vagina. It's Skye Bagina. So imagine getting your Spotify rap this year, and that's number one on your most listened to. That's probably going to be me. So stay tuned for that bad boy. But like I said, just had to break into my house. I swear this fucking happens every single time I have to get something done to my car. So, look, my UFC gambling problem has finally paid for something responsible, because your boy here got up on a little 6-leg multi on the UFC on the weekend, and now I can do responsible adult things and get my car serviced. Now, as I've said the last month or so, my car is well overdue for a service. So as soon as that multi came through, I was like, oh, brother, I need to get my car serviced. So always remember, gamble responsibly. This isn't how it always plays out, okay? It's just always good for that one time to steal one from the bookies and use it for something worthwhile, you know, instead of going, actually, under 14s, Indonesian softball is on tonight. Why don't I throw it on that and see if I could go double or nothing? So I drop the boys off at school, go to the mechanic, walk all the way home from the mechanic. So put my little Apple Watch on here. It was about 1.6 Ks. I get home, reach into my hoodie pocket, and I've gone, that's right, I don't have my fucking car keys. What's on my car keys, ladies and gentlemen? My fucking house keys. My God, this is like, I'm not even lying, this is probably the third or fourth time I've dropped my car off somewhere to get something done and forgot to get my house keys off my car keys. So you would think after maybe the second time that happened, you'd go, hey, dickhead, why don't you hide a set of house keys somewhere in the garden shed or under a mat or under a pot plant or something like a responsible adult would do? No, that's not what I do, okay? I'll forget about this, and then next time it happens, I'll come on the podcast and I'll tell you guys about it once again. But look, let's rip into some stories. But before we do, actually, why don't we give Knucklebet a little shout out after that, okay? Knucklebet, like I said, I made a bit of bank on the weekend on the UFC and the NRL. So a couple of anytime try scorers. That UFC card, I'm not going to lie, it was pretty easy to predict. A lot of the fighters on there were paying like $1.20 or something, which is, it's going to take a very big upset for one of them to lose. So, yeah, good times. My little bet that I threw out there as a reel, Knucklebet asked me to give my best bet of the week, and I could not pick our Aussie brother Steve Urseg to hopefully get back in the winners column. Suffered another vicious first round knockout. Makes you wonder where he's going to from here. But if you are looking to have a punt responsibly, get around our friends at Knucklebet, guys. But speaking about sponsors, I'm quite parched, which means we need to crack our delicious can of kamikaze this week. And I have not had this flavour for a very long time. And I've got to say, I am fucking pumped to let this delicious nectar touch my lips. So let's crack it. Oh, yeah. We got the rainbow gummy today, guys. So I'm going to take a little sip and we'll rip into some stories that have happened this week. Oh, so fucking good. Unbelievable. God damn it. I've put my AirPods where my can usually sits. Just all sorts today. I am feeling a little bit better this week, so hopefully less coughing into the microphone for you guys, which hopefully leads to a bit more of an enjoyable episode. But look, I think my 6-year-old Parker has already learnt how to game the education system, okay? And I don't know whether to be proud or disappointed in the young fella, but over the last month or two, we've been going back and forth with the school a fair bit. Just emails, phone calls, things like that. Don't get me wrong, Nikita's been handling 99% of it. And I just have to play along from the sidelines, which, hey, I don't hate it, okay? I hate getting involved with all that sort of shit. I hated school personally. So I 100% know where he's coming from. Anyway, all these emails and shit going back and forth. And last week we got like the email, okay? The email you don't want to get as a parent. Parker is refusing to do his work. He's distracting others, blah, blah, blah. And they didn't directly say this, but it felt like the undertone of this entire email was, hey, if Parker doesn't pull his fucking finger out, he's probably going to have to repeat prep. Now, repeating prep probably would have to go down as one of your like worst moments of your life. Believe it or not, I was lucky enough to never repeat a grade. I don't know how I got away with that. Somehow it happened. They just pushed me through. I think it's because they didn't want me around longer than they had to. So we get that email and the teachers seem a little bit worried. And we decide to sit Parker down that night, okay? And we go, buddy, what's going on at school? Why aren't you paying attention? And again, at the same time, it feels wrong to be yelling at him for something that I used to do 24/7. Like I never concentrated at school. And he's like, oh, I just don't feel like it. Like it's so boring. And I'm like, I get it, brother. I get it. This is exactly what I thought about school. But unfortunately, it's just part of life. You just got to sit there all day. Oh, I just fucking kicked my camera. Luckily, I think I just kicked it back in the perfect position. Anyway, I go, you got to sit there. You just got to push through it and it'll be over before you even like remember. And then you'll be in a job that you fucking hate going, God, I wish I could go back to school. And he's looking at me so confused. And we just start trying to have like a free flowing conversation with him. We're trying to break him down and get him all loose and tell us what's going on. And he goes, this is the part where I'm like, I don't know if he's a genius or whether he's just a little fucking smart ass like his dad. We're like, so why aren't you doing your work? And he's like, I don't really have to. And we're like, you do have to do your work. It's school. That's what we send you there for, to learn shit. And he's like, yeah, but we get 6 tickets a day. And I've gone, what's a ticket? And he goes, basically, at the start of the day, we get given 6 tickets. If we don't feel like doing a particular task or something like that at school, we can just use one of our tickets and say, I don't want to do that. And then we get like free time. We can just do whatever we want. And I've gone, right. And he goes, yeah. So every day I just use 5 tickets on something I don't want to do. And I just leave that 1 ticket in the bank. And then I start doing my work from then. And I was like, holy shit. That is genius. That's not bad behavior. That is like corporate management type brain cells. Okay. I don't know if, I don't know if he's the kind of guy that's not going to read the employee handbook from cover to cover. You know what I mean? He's the guy that's going to come in and just take over the manager's job. So I don't know where to stand on it all. I don't know whether to hire him or punish him. I'm very confused on the whole situation because like I said, it's pretty fucking genius in my book. I know that is definitely one of the plays I would have done if I was at his school. Let's play another turns out it can get worse clip. Drag this bad boy over. Oh, God. This guy's position is already very scary. Let's hit play on this. Brother, make an OnlyFans like everyone else, you know what I mean? You don't need to be putting this shit on Instagram. But what a demonstration of different orifices that you could lick as a human being. I forgot that I didn't do something before I started recording. So put a pin in this. I will be back in 2 seconds your time. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Now, believe it or not, on Mondays, I am a bit of a house husband, okay? I do the cleaning, the washing, all that sort of shit. And this... Look, you guys might look at YouTube and go, wow, he is in a state-of-the-art studio. He must be in like a penthouse in one of the high-rises in Brisbane or something. Actually, I'm in my garage and it backs behind this wall behind me is the laundry. I put a load of washing on before I went to the mechanics, and it was still going. And usually I pause it if it's still going, and I forgot to, and I just heard it click over to that like noisy part of the washing machine. So hopefully from here on out, there is little to no distractions. Where was I at on here? All right. I got a scary story this week, guys. I thought someone was stalking me at 4 a.m. last week. Turns out it was not that scary, okay? So stay tuned. As you guys know, I wake up about 3:30, 4 o'clock, head to the gym before work. Now, when I leave the house, it's obviously pitch black in our street. I don't know what's up. I've noticed this the past couple of months. Again, just fucking autism at its prime. What is going on with streetlights at the moment? It feels like streetlights just turn off at like 11 p.m. and then all the streets are in darkness. I notice that when I like cruise back from my gigs and shit like that, or when I leave in the mornings, I'm like, I swear these streets used to be brighter than they used to. Like, it's just encouraging crime. In my book, I don't fucking know. I'm not a genius. I don't work for the government. Anyway, so when we walk outside in the mornings, it's pitch black, and I have my backpack on, which has got my laptop and notebooks and all that sort of shit. And then I've got a gym bag over one shoulder, and I've got my esky over the other shoulder, which virtually leaves me defenseless, okay? My biggest fear is to walk out in the morning and somebody just come and attack me because I can't defend myself. How do you fight someone with a gym bag and an esky? Imagine swinging and your esky just fucking swings with your arm. It's not possible. It's not a possibility. So when I walk out my front door, I turn around to face the screen door and I lock it. Now, in that motion, I have an outdoor sensor light. I think it's pretty common in Australia. A lot of houses have a sensor light out the front. So I turn around, I lock the door, the sensor light comes on, and I turn to my right and I start walking towards my ute. Now, there's probably maybe a 5 to 6 meter walk from my front door to the ute. And the sensor light pretty much glows up that whole area. So I start walking. And as I'm walking, I'm staring at the ground, making sure I don't trip over something the boys have left out overnight or something. And I'm looking at my shadow. Now, all of a sudden, beside my right shoulder and like beside my head, I see another circular object. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Somebody is behind me. And I start to panic, instantly thinking the cunts from the home invasion are back or something. I'm about to fucking die. But I don't want to face it. Like, I want to die like a man. Just shoot me in the back or stab me in the back or something. I don't want to face my killer. So I just keep walking, and this circular object just keeps following me next to my head on my shadow. And I'm like, oh God, it's time. I'm start saying prayers and shit like that, turning to God. And then I start to pick up the pace. I start taking some bigger steps. Now, in those bigger steps, I don't know what had happened in this moment, but I've taken a big step, and all of a sudden, a basketball just rolls in front of me. Now, I don't know if I was still half asleep at this moment or something like that, but it dawns on me that I had been dribbling a basketball gently with my feet, and then that shadow of the basketball was showing up next to the shadow of my head. And I felt completely retarded. I thought I was going to die via basketball. I almost fought a fucking Spalding. That's a top tier basketball reference, guys. Spalding basketballs. Go check them out. Oh, God, that was fucking horrible. I feel disgusting for even saying that. Anyway, another little dad compliment related to basketball was unlocked this week. I wasn't emotionally prepared for this, okay? This was one of those dad moments where you just sit back and go, oh, I must be doing something right, okay? And it has nothing to do with me, okay? Let's rip into it. So Westy, like I bang on about almost every second week, Westy plays basketball. Now, his last team that he was on, I used to come on here and I was like, oh God, they don't fucking keep track of score. Why don't they keep track of score? Because Westy's team was winning by like 50 every game. Now the shoe is on the other foot. Westy is on a, how do I describe this politically correct in a parenting landscape? A dog shit team, okay? It is horrible. It frustrates me to hell watching them every week. And there's two good players on the team, Westy and this other kid. I'm not going to name and shame him. But it's basically when you think Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, the Splash Brothers in their prime for Golden State, that's these two, just dribbling up the court, passing to each other, layup, shoot, long range shots, things like that. It's beautiful to see. And then you just got this splattering of other kids. And I have to stop myself and go, it's under 10s basketball. Of course, this is what it is in reality. Not every kid is obsessed as Westy and this other kid. Some of these kids can't catch, they can't pass, they can't dribble, and it is like there was a kid on the weekend. Oh God, I'm getting angry just thinking about it. He just kept dribbling straight out, like out the sideline. I'm like, brother, keep it in the court at the very minimum. Travel, I don't give a fuck. Just don't go over that black line. And I'm getting more and more frustrated. And particularly on the weekend, Nikita and I could notice Westy getting frustrated as well. Like he was watching the shit that we were watching unfold, and he's just head in hands, getting angry. And Westy's not the most vocal kid in a public environment, okay? But when you start seeing him talking to his teammates and like not yelling at them or something, but just asking them why they did something, it's like, okay, he's hitting peak frustration. And I said to Nikita, I'm like, we should look at getting him to change teams. And she's like, he moves up to under 12s in like 2 months. He'll get a new team. Let's just let him have it. It'll be good for him to fucking grind out a couple of losses. And I suppose in a weird way it is. Now here's the little compliment, okay? Westy, I think the final score was, what was it? It was like 28-18 or something. And Westy scored 14 of those 18 points. He had an absolute cracker of a game. But unfortunately, like I said, teammates weren't really following along. And Westy makes an amazing layup, okay? It was insane. He ran from the other side of the court, beautiful dribbling, crossed over a couple of people, broke their ankles, and then it's just him against one of the opposition players, and Westy's got to make this layup. He crosses this kid over again and makes an amazing layup. I was so proud of him. And then obviously we sit in a grandstand with parents from our team and parents from the opposition team. Now, in front of us was parents of the opposition team, and I'm just sitting there having to listen to them cheer their team on, and every time they get a basket, they stand up and cheer and blah, blah, blah. I'm getting angry and angry at this dad. I'm ready to throw down like Randy Marsh from South Park. And Westy makes this layup I was just talking about, and this dad leans over to his wife. He goes, that kid has one of the most beautiful layups I've ever seen in my life. And I started clenching my pearls. I was like, oh my God. Like, obviously I had nothing to do with his layup technique. It's all him, all natural. And it was just some beautiful basketball poetry in its finest. So, guys, this next story, I need to have a sip before this because I honestly never thought this day was going to happen. And I'm the happiest man in the world, okay? Now, the day I have been waiting for years has finally happened, okay? Nikita texts me, and if you thought, oh, baby number 3's on the way, you're incorrect, okay? That's not fucking happening. I can't go down that path again. We're done. 2 kids, that's it. She texted me while I was at gigs last night, and we'll get onto the gigs in my week in comedy, and the text just reads, Parker wants to do jiu-jitsu. Oh, God. I almost started crying in the green room. And I text her back. I go, are you sure? And she goes, yeah, I just asked him again. He goes, I've been watching videos or something on YouTube, and I want to give it a go. He goes, I think I'd be really good at it. And I've been telling this kid this for like the last 3 years. And I'm like, brother, you have the most beautiful technique. He genuinely, obviously I don't go hard on him, but sometimes I'll go like 60 to 70%. And he still gets me in like an arm bar or a choke or something with zero training. I'm like, bro, if you commit to this, you'll be unstoppable, okay? Like the next Gordon Ryan or something. And this morning we wake up, and I was still keeping myself level-headed. I'm like, it was just a spur-of-the-moment thing. It's not going to happen. I go, Parker, I got the day off today. I'll call around a couple of jiu-jitsu gyms and see who can fit you in. And he goes, yep, 100%. He goes, when can I start it? And I've gone, hopefully I can get you somewhere this week. He goes, okay, cool. He goes, do I have to fight kids straight off the bat? I go, no. I go, we'll just start with training, but at the end of the training, you get to like do a bit of free rolling and things like that and just play around with some of the other kids. He's like, okay, that sounds cool. And then the drive to school, he starts talking about it again. He's like, so what do I do? Like, how soon after training do I get to have a fight? And I'm like, you don't really fight. I'm like, you just roll. And he's like, okay, how long until I can do that? And I go, depends on your coach. Like, you could train for a week and your coach might go, hey, I think you're ready to go to a tournament or something. And he goes, okay, cool. That's what I'm going to do. He goes, when do I get my black belt? And I'm like, it usually takes about 10 years for someone to get a black belt. And he's like, okay, so I'm 6, So I'll be a black belt by the time I'm 16. I'm like, if you train really hard, possibly. And he's like, okay, cool. He's like, has anyone ever done it quicker than that? And I'm like, there's stories of UFC legend BJ Penn. Apparently he got his black belt in like 2 or 3 years or something. But I go, he literally lived at the gym. He slept on the mats and shit like that just to get the black belt. He's like, okay, so I can do it quicker. And I'm like, it depends how hard you want to work at it. And then he starts talking about like, what if I win the tournament? And I go, okay, then you go on to like state finals and stuff. He goes, I'm going to be Queensland champ. And I'm like, this is everything I've ever fucking wanted. You know what I mean? So this is a public service announcement to everyone out there that has a 6-year-old. Get ready because Parker Misson is coming to take over the jiu-jitsu world. My God, he's going to snap some arms. So he doesn't even know a fucking proper arm bar yet. And this kid's already talking about legacy. So unreal shit. I love it. But let's get on to me. Let's get on to some me getting sporty and fit and things like that. This is a public service announcement to you guys to stop avoiding the weird-looking exercise at gym, okay? Maybe sometimes you see a workout and you're like, that's gay. I'm never going to do that. That's me. My hand is up right now. As you guys know, I've been getting ChatGPT to do my workouts for the last 6 months or so, I suppose, and I'm loving it, okay? It takes that aspect out of the gym for me, and every morning I open my notes app. I'm like, what's ChatGPT got for me today? Oh, I've got this, and this. Cool. It's like a surprise, and it's making gym so much funner again. Now, it has given me this workout for probably the last 3 weeks, and I keep looking at it, and I'm like, that's so gay. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that at the gym. I forget what it's called. I think it's called like a technical knee extension with a band, I believe, is what it keeps telling me. I Googled it the first time, and the only people I've ever really seen use bands at the gym are chicks, okay, to work on like butts and things like that. And I don't need that. Don't get me wrong, decent butt on me, okay? But there's just something about smashing the bench press and then pulling out a band and doing these little knee extensions. And I'm like, I'm not doing it. So I avoided them for the last like 2 weeks or so. And this week I had a little bit of extra time at the end of my workout. And I'm like, fuck it. Let's give it a go. So I don't do it out in the open. I go in the little private, I don't know what they call it, like group exercise room. And I usually switch the lights off in there and do my stretches and shit that I don't want people to watch me and judge me on. So I tie the band to like a metal pole in there and I start doing these extensions. Now, since I injured my knee at the start of the year, I've probably got it back to, I don't know, maybe 80%, maybe a little bit more of like range of motion and strength and shit like that. Like at the gym now, I can do every workout and stuff like that pain-free, which is unreal. And there's just that little bit left of range of motion that I just can't get in it. I set this stupid little band up and started doing these little knee extension things with this band, and it just, oh God, it triggered the exact spot where I'm just like, that's the part that I can't fix instantly this week. So I did that on like Tuesday or something. This week, my knee has felt so much better again. So lesson learned right here. If it looks stupid, it's probably going to fix something, okay? There's probably a reason why PTs and shit incorporate this exercise in their routine. So if something looks a little bit gay or stupid at the gym, fucking do it. Unless there's a naked bloke in the sauna asking if you want to suck his cock or stretch together, probably don't do that, okay? Just stick to the band exercises. Let's play another Turns Out It Can Get Worse clip before we rip into my week in comedy. This one is viewer submitted. Shout out to the legend that sent this one through. Let's see what this is all on about.
Color doesn't matter to me. Want.
But what's better, black cock or white cock?
Well, obviously the white.
Why is that?
Because we sell more of it. Not too many people have stuff that they want to put black cock around.
Oh.
You want to match your toilet or your windows or something.
Was that a metaphor?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not too many people have stuff they want to put black cork around. What about in and around my mouth? I don't know. That's just me. But what do you guys prefer, black cock or white cock? Oh, God. For all your audio listeners, there's a dude in a hardware store and he's got a tube of black silicon and a tube of white silicon. And it's just a fun play on words, okay? So I fucking love that shit. Anyway, let's get into my week in comedy. I'm going to take a little sip of this. I racked up the gigs this week, surprisingly. So let's fucking rip through them all. So, get a message on Thursday morning somewhat like a little notification in a group chat that I joined 2 months ago. They're like, oh, we're keen as for tonight or something like that. And I've gone, fuck, I got a gig tonight. And it was up at the Brisbane Comedy Cellar. So I was obviously pounding that room a couple months ago, and I got lazy and forgot to fill in their like application form for a couple of months. Hence the reason I haven't really been talking about them lately. So I go, oh, Nikita, I got a gig tonight. Are you cool if I drive up there? She's like, yeah, sweet. We've got nothing on. So let me explain. I live in Logan. Now, Logan is about 45 minutes to the city, 45 minutes to the Gold Coast. It's nice. It's a nice central location to both comedy scenes. So I leave about 6 o'clock because you don't want to get to the gig right at 7 when it starts. And I'm cruising. About 6:45, I'm literally 2 minutes from the venue. I get a message from the room runner. He's like, hey, bro, didn't get your confirmation email, even though I'm in the group chat and all that sort of shit. So we're going to have to pull you from tonight's lineup. And I'm like, brother, I'm here. And he goes, oh, fuck, well, yeah, we didn't get it. I go, I'm pretty sure I replied to it because there's like, I've heard a couple of people talk about there's a little glitch in their booking system at the moment, and they are working on it. They told me on Wednesday night that there's a new booker and things like that. So absolute legend of a bloke, which hopefully leads to me getting more spots. But anyway, I go, look, I've driven up here. I go, is there definitely no chance? And they're like, and luckily the new guy booking the room goes, I'll squeeze you on somewhere. And I'm like, sweet. I go, even if it's 5 minutes. He's like, nah, get up there, do 7. I'm like, sweet. So get up there, chilling in the green room, bunch of great comedians. And then my time comes. I think I was 3rd or 4th or something. And unreal room. It was sold out on a Wednesday night, which you love to fucking see. And everyone was crushing straight off the bat. And I hadn't done some of these newer jokes in this room yet. So I was like, okay, I love this room. It's nice. It's tight. It's the perfect comedy environment. I'm hoping these destroy. Got up there and this crowd was unreal. I crushed the entire set and it was so much fun. I think I was going back and forth with the crowd a little bit too much. So I think I pushed the 7 minutes, which I felt dog about, seeing as I like wasn't technically meant to be on the lineup anymore. But got off, room runner gave me props. He's like, that was fucking unreal. I haven't heard this before. Yada, yada, yada. I'm like, oh yeah, working pretty hard, eh? But anyway, sick gig. And I think I got a couple more coming up there soon. So listen out for when I plug that one, because if you guys are planning to come to a gig that I don't run personally, that one's probably a good one to come to. Then on Saturday, get another message again. Hey, mate, you free to do Home of the Arts tonight? Now, that's like pinnacle Gold Coast comedy, okay? That's where you want to get booked. It is their pro show for base comedy. So it's a pro MC, pro headliner, and then they squeeze 3 of us support acts in there and we get paid. So it's an unreal night. It's in the basement at Home of the Arts. So it's like a proper theatre setup. All the bells and whistles, perfect lighting, perfect sound. And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to take my camera tonight because I don't have these new jokes on film yet. So if I have a good set, it's probably a good environment to get them recorded at. So I head down there, and again, another bunch of great comedians. We're in the green room, we're having a laugh, we're having fun, and just completely set me at ease, okay? I was like, okay, I feel like I'm going to crush. And I was on right before the headliner. So the first 2 acts get up, they crush, and I'm like, oh God, please don't let me be the one that brings it down. And first joke didn't crush as much as it usually does. I've been like, for the past 6 months or so, I've been opening with the dumb SpongeBob teeth joke just because it's self-deprecating, lets the crowd know your name, yada, yada, yada. It's a good opening joke. And didn't hit as hard as it usually does. And I'm like, oh God, this is not going to be good. All that confidence that I'd built in the green room is now out the window. And I push through. And second joke hits a bit harder. And I'm like, okay, we might be on. And then I just keep pushing through. I get to the newer jokes and they crush hard. And I'm like, fuck yes, that's what I wanted. And all round, just a sick gig. So I feel like something else happened there. What else happened there? Nothing, I don't think. Nah, nothing else happened there. All right, then we another fucking throw-in gig. So I didn't plug any of these last week. I get a phone call on Friday from the owner of Sit Down Comedy Club. Again, pulling in another favor. I don't know if I'm on his like little favorites list at the moment or something, but he goes, "Hey mate, so I've had a heap of dropouts for Forest Lake on Sunday." He goes, "Can I ask a favor?" And I'm like, I go, "Okay, let me open my calendar." And I open it and I've got that charity gig in the Valley. And I go, "Oh, I'd love to, but I got this charity gig in the Valley." He goes, "What time's that start?" And I go, "Well, they don't need me there till about 8:30, 9 o'clock. And he goes, "Perfect. Forest Lake starts at 6. I'll see you there." And then hangs up the phone. And I'm like, God fucking damn it. So last night, drive out to Forest Lake Tavern, and I did the first gig out there. There was probably, 20 people there that night. Last night, there was 6 people there that weren't comedians, and they just, I don't know if they didn't understand what comedy was or something, but they didn't seem to have a funny bone in their body. So they put me up third because obviously I had to get to this other gig. And first act gets on. I'm not going to name and shame them, but they are an absolute crusher in the Australian comedy scene at the moment, okay? And they get a couple of giggles here and there, don't get me wrong, but they weren't having a great time up there. Second act gets on. Similar circumstances. Doesn't really crack the room, and I'm like, all right, my time to shine. Let's break this bad boy. I get up there. I try and put so much fucking energy into this shit, and they give me nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I'm going, oh God. First joke bombs hard. Nothing. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. This happened at Home of the Arts. We'll win them back on the second one. Second joke, nothing. I'm like, fuck, I got one joke left, and I don't know. I was finishing on the home invasion joke. I'm like, this is a long as fuck story to bomb on. I start telling the home invasion story, crickets. Fucking no sound in the room. And I'm going, all right, I've been Jimmy Missing. Thank you very much. And I walk off stage. The darkness that I had in my soul was unreal. That is easily the biggest bomb I've had in the last 2 years. My God, it just took me right back to the beginning. It has been so long since I've got on stage to do jokes. Now, most weeks I come in here and I say I bombed. When I say I bombed last night, it is the true definition of a bomb. It's just the silence in the room. It was just me. I would have got more laughs sitting in here talking into my fucking garage. That is how demoralizing it was. It was unreal. I'd instantly jump on a group chat with a couple of the boys, send them the voice note. They're obviously loving it because we all love it when one of us eats dicks. And I just felt the need that I had to brush that gig off. Now, I had the charity gig later that night, like I said, and I'm like, I need another gig. I need to wash this stink off me. So I pull into the Spice nightclub where it's Sizzling Sundays. So I've spoken about them a couple of times. So Julian Woods runs that with Richo, and I'm friendly with both of them. So I was pretty confident that if I popped in, they'd give me a bit of stage time. So I walk in, Richo's there, big hug, things like that. What are you doing here? I'm like, oh, I got that charity gig, which he knew about. And he's like, oh, sick, what time's that start? I'm like, oh, I've got about an hour and a half to kill. He's like, sweet, I'll get you on here. And I'm like, oh, you don't have to. He goes, no, 100%, I'll squeeze you on. I'm like, sweet. So I go, I just got to leave. I got to be at that venue by 9 o'clock. He's like, yeah, 100%, I'll get you on and off by then. And clock starts ticking. We're getting 7:45, 8 o'clock, 8:15, 8:30. I'm still not on stage. And he goes, oh, okay, I'll quickly push these two through because they've got to be somewhere, and then I'll get you on. And I'm like, sweet. And at that point I go, brother, I don't care if I don't get on. I was just looking for a place to hang out for a couple of hours before this gig. He's like, no, I'll get you on. And it was in this moment. Actually, I'll talk about this when I get to the charity gig. But again, another heap of legends in the green room. We're going back and forth. We're laughing. And I think I laughed the hardest I've laughed in a long time in the green room. I'll get to the story when I get to the charity one. But it's about 8:45, and the act before me is starting to wrap up. And then 8:50, I get on the stage, and I've got 7 to 10 minutes. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to get to the other gig. So I just completely fuck myself and just speed talk through my entire set. No pauses, no breaks, no building up suspense, just word vomiting into the mic, not letting anyone have an opportunity to laugh, and proceed to rack up my second bomb for the night. Now, was this as bad as the first bomb? Definitely not. I got some giggles and things like that. So in a way, it brushed the stink off. Got off stage, said thank you to the room runner, sprinted down the other end of the valley to the charity gig, and I guess we'll talk about that. So, as you guys know, I was asked a few weeks ago to come and I forget what the exact role. The initial interaction was come and host a live music afternoon and evening, and then that fizzled down to just come and do 10 minutes of comedy and then 10 minutes of giving off the raffles and doing like that sort of thing. And I've gone, yeah, sweet. Okay, perfect. He goes, be here by 9. And about 8:30, I get an email from him. And he goes, bro, the whole thing has fallen on its head and there's probably only 10 people here. I understand if you don't want to come, completely, like, don't feel obliged to come. And I've gone, oh, all good. And I ended up calling him. I'm like, bro, I'm at another gig in the valley anyway. I'm like a street away. So it's no biggie. If you want me to swing in and still do some time, I'm more than happy to. Obviously, it was all for a good cause, for children's cancer and things like that. And he goes, oh, mate, it'd be unreal if you could stop by. And I'm like, yeah, sweet. All right. I'll swing by. We'll try work something out and we'll make it all come to reality. Now, let's go back to the green room that I was talking about before, where I laughed the hardest I've probably ever laughed. It was with absolute legend Alex Quirk. He has a podcast of his own. What's that called? Should give it a plug. While I'm talking, I'll quickly look up his podcast so he gets a little plug in here. One sec. The Cheers Mate podcast with Alex Quirk. So it is it's a pretty good podcast. I enjoy listening to it. Has a couple of comedians on from time to time. I haven't got an invitation yet, Alex. So what's fucking going on there? Anyway, he's just super easy to talk to. Loves his UFC, loves his comedy. Just fucking hand in hand, okay? We can have a comfortable conversation. And he's like, oh, what are you up to tonight? I'm like, I just came from Forest Lake. Now I'm dropping in here. Then I got a charity gig after this. He's like, charity gig? That's fucking sick. I'm like, yeah, it should be pretty cool. And this is where it starts to trigger in my mind that this probably isn't going to be very cool, because he goes, tell me about it. And I'm like, okay, so it's like a punk hardcore music festival. He's like, right, doesn't really suit you, but sure. I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right. And he goes, anyway. And I go, yeah, so they've been playing music since 3 p.m. and there's been bands on all day. And then they're stopping the music at 9 and I'm getting on stage to tell jokes. And he's gone, what? And I've gone, yeah, that's probably not going to be great, is it? And he's gone, that sounds fucking horrible. And I'm like, yeah, so I'm doing a bit of stand-up and then I'm doing like an auction, raffling off some things. And then I have to introduce the headline act. And he's like, they're going to fucking hate you. And I'm like, now that you say it, for sure they're going to fucking hate me. How did this not click in my brain that this probably wasn't going to go well? And now I start getting anxious about the charity gig. And he's pissing his pants about how terrible this is going to be for me. He's like, what's the charity for anyway? I'm like, children's cancer. He's like, why were you picked for this? I'm like, I don't fucking know. Anyway, so he's in my head. And like I said, I get to the gig. I try and track down the dude that's running it. When I walk into the gig, there's 3 people in this entire giant venue. Huge stage, an amazing venue. Like, it would be sick to sell that thing out with a comedy show. And he goes, yeah, there's like a few people straggling around and all the rest of the people are just going out for a smoke. He's like, when they get back, we'll get you on stage and you can do your thing. And I'm like, yeah, sweet. And I go, look, I don't know how this is going to go. And he's like, yeah, I'm sort of thinking the same thing. And I'm like, what if I just get up there and I'll start telling some jokes? If they're not feeling it, I'll just do the raffles and I'll get off there. I'm like, there's no point dragging it on. The people that are left, they want to see the headline act. He's like, yeah, you're probably right. So I get up on stage, I tell a couple of jokes, and the people that are left are at the back of the room near the bar. So there's 2 people that have decided to come and stand next to the stage. And luckily, I just played to them and I just worked off their laughter. And I did probably 4 or 5 jokes and I go, okay, I think you guys have had enough comedy. Who's keen to win some shit? Proceed to do the raffle, give away some shit. So all in all, that was a cool thing to give away stuff for charity. And then I'm just like, who's ready for your headline act? Biggest cheer I got of the night. And they're like, yeah, fucking get off stage, you dumb fuck. And introduced the headline act and got the fuck out of there. So look, last night could possibly go down as my worst comedy night of 2026. Just 3 bombs in a row. God, it hurt the fucking soul. But it is what it is, you know what I mean? It's what we do. Like I've said a couple times, sometimes I live for the bombs more than the crushes these days. So brings you back to reality, makes you remember, fuck, you've actually got to work hard at this shit. So let's go, before I rip into what I've consumed this week, let's play another Turns Out It Can Get Worse clip. Another listener submission one this week. So this one is actually from my lovely wife, Nikita. This is a clip that she recorded herself.
If his name starts with J, then run the hell away. Cause he's psycho, he's crazy. He'll act just like a baby. All he does is lie and make you cry. So if he calls you on the phone, better tell him to leave your ass alone. If his name starts with J.
Cheers, Nikita. That was a lovely rendition. So I do appreciate that. Anyway, shit that I've watched this week. Little recap on what I spoke about last week. I Will Find You on Netflix. Thank God Netflix finally didn't ruin an ending. I finished it. It stayed elite the entire series, and it just wrapped up so perfectly. It was literally from start to finish one of the best series that I've seen in a number of years. Now, I did start to get worried about the third last or second last episode because they start introducing this like Swiss or Swedish storyline, and I'm like, oh, this is going to fucking, how are they going to ruin this? Now there's going to be aliens and it's going to turn all woke or some shit. But it actually tied into the ending pretty well. So, yeah, all in all, absolutely cracker series. Get around it. Another series I watched this week while I was quoting shit. I needed just a little bit of a laugh while I was quoting some stuff. Scrolling on Netflix, and I see Will Ferrell's new series, The Hawk, is out. And threw it on. Now, I've seen super mixed reviews of this. Some people loving it. Some people fucking hating it. I love Will Ferrell. Nikita hates him, so I get both sides of the fence. And I personally loved it, okay? Gives you major Happy Gilmore vibes, which that's a lot of the hate I've seen. They're like, oh, it's just ripping off Happy Gilmore. It's like, brother, it's a comedian doing shit about golf. There's going to be some overlapping things here and there. But if you go into it with the understanding that this is just another silly Will Ferrell side project, you'll love it, okay? Now, the only criticism I do have, I think I've said this about a few things lately. I think this is like what they're talking about like TikTok and Instagram ruining your brain and your like concentration span. It's 10 episodes. I feel like it could have been better if it was around the 6 to 8 episodes. There were a couple episodes where I was like, this just feels like it's dragging on for the sake of it. Like they had to hit the 10 episodes for Netflix or something. It was in their contract, but still laughed so many times. So go give that a crack. Then another little comfort watch I watched this week while I was quoting shit. Entourage. Entourage is probably up there with, it's easily in my top 5 favorite TV series of all time, if not up there towards like the top 1 or 2, you know? So I was scrolling on Netflix again. They just re-released the Entourage movie on there. So I threw that on and again, loved every second of it. I love that shit. Love the storylines, and it's just cool to like, it's basically a depiction of somebody trying to make it, and throughout 8 series or whatever, and then the movie, they finally get there through all the twists and turns and things like that you would expect to see in Hollywood. It's so good. So this week, my plan is to go back and start watching the Entourage series from the start. And yeah, I'm pretty fucking keen. But all in all, Entourage, I think, is the perfect time capsule of like the 2000s. Because there is jokes in there of like shit that you can't say now. All the funny stuff that was funny when I was a kid. So even like Ari shitting on his gay Asian assistant, pretty relatable, you know what I mean? Like, I've got a gay Asian assistant. His name is just Adrian. But Nikita, I remember when Nikita and I first watched Entourage, like when we first started dating, everything Ari Gold was saying, she'd just look at me and be like, I picture this is exactly how you are at work. And while I was watching the movie, just from what some of my work colleagues have been telling me lately, I'm watching some of the shit Ari says and I'm like, holy fuck, I think I do have Ari Gold tendencies, you know what I mean? So I don't know if that's like the biggest compliment in the world or it's just going to get me a meeting with HR. But unfortunately for my workplace, I'm HR. So I look forward to sexually assaulting myself in that meeting. And last little thing I'll leave you on, I've had a little earworm this week. It's been a while since I've plugged a song, and this one has been stuck in my head all week. Now, I'd seen it countless times on like TikToks and things like that. It's one of those songs that they put in the background of sad TikToks and shit like that. And that's just what my TikTok's full of. It's called Broken Windows Serenade by Whiskey Myers. My God, it is unbelievable. If you have like had depression and shit in the past, go throw this bad boy on. Just the lyrics, the song, everything is unreal. So if you're sad, it won't fix it, but it'll make you enjoy being sad a lot more, okay? Oh, God. Go throw it on. But anyway, guys, shows to plug this week. Again, I've got fucking heaps. Jungle Bar, Wednesday the 29th at West End. Mix Bar has a sign-up open mic night I'm thinking about going to on Thursday the 30th. That one's at Wollongabba. Good Chat Comedy Club. I'm on their lineup show on Friday the 31st. And Newmarket Hotel for sit down on Monday the 3rd. So the only other gig I will plug, which is actually the following week, but hey, let's start pushing some tickets. I spoke last week that I had that meeting up there with Ryan McCarthy from the One Talk podcast about getting some comedy happening there. And it's all locked in, guys. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have already seen the reels and shit that he's punching out for it. So our first show there is Friday the 7th. And the lineup I've put together for that one, absolutely unreal. So if you do want to come and see me do some comedy, I'll be hosting that one, just playing with the crowd, telling some jokes, things like that. And yeah, like I said, the lineup is absolutely cracker. So get your tickets for that. You'll find all the information on my Instagram and things like that. Other than that, he's already fucked up the sign off, guys. If you want to get in touch with the show, send submissions via DM on Instagram at Can't Get Any Worse Podcast. Or shoot me an email at can'tgetanyworsepod@gmail.com. It's getting to the point where I should just pre-record this part so I don't fuck it up every week. But maybe that just adds to the fun of it, okay? It keeps this shit raw and authentic. But I appreciate you all for listening. Keep sharing this shit around. Again, little jump in numbers again this week. A couple of messages from some people that I didn't know listen to the podcast and things like that. So it is 2026 seems to be a good year for the podcast, guys. So again, I appreciate you all. Hope you all have ripper weeks, and I will see you later.
Can't get any worse, we'll make you see. It's alright.